It's down again. I just checked my phone. Another 4%. I knew this was a mistake. All that money I saved, it feels like I just set it on fire. I should sell, right? I have to sell now before it goes to zero. What am I supposed to do?
You feel like you have to do something. Anything. That's the first instinct.
Of course, I'm losing money. Every hour I wait, I lose more. It feels completely irresponsible to just sit and watch it burn.
Is it irresponsible? Or does it just feel that way? The market drop isn't the real problem we need to solve right now.
The market drop isn't the problem? My account is 15% smaller than it was last month. That feels like a very real problem to me.
The numbers are real. The feeling is real. But the problem you think you have, losing money, isn't the core issue. The real problem is the story you're telling yourself about those numbers.
The story? The story is simple. I invested, and now it's worth less. I failed.
That's one story. Most people tell themselves that story. It's the story of price. But successful investors learn to tell a different story. It's the story of value.
Price, value? Aren't they the same thing? The price is what it's worth.
Imagine you own a small, successful coffee shop. It makes good money every month. One day your neighbor is in a bad mood and says, "I'll give you 20% less than your shop is worth, right now, in cash." Do you immediately sell?
No, of course not. That's a bad offer. My shop is still making money. Its value hasn't changed just because my neighbor is feeling pessimistic.
Exactly. The stock market is just a very big, very emotional neighbor. Every day it walks up to you and shouts a price. Some days it's optimistic. Some days, like today, it's pessimistic. But its mood doesn't change the quality of the coffee shop you own.
But I don't own a coffee shop. I own a tiny piece of a huge company I've never visited. It's just a name on a screen.
That's the mental trap. You feel like you own a number that goes up and down, but you don't. You own a small part of a real business with buildings, employees, and customers. The first mental shift is to stop thinking about the price and start thinking about the business. Is it a good business? Do you believe it will still be a good business in 5 years?
I think so. I did my research. It's a solid company.
Then the question is not, what is the market doing? The question is, has the business fundamentally changed? If the coffee shop is still serving good coffee and has loyal customers, you don't sell it just because of a neighbor's bad mood. You invested in the business because you believed it was strong and had a future. You believed it was durable.
So you're saying I should just ignore the price completely? That feels passive, like I'm hiding from the truth. The pain is real. The fear that I've made a huge mistake is overwhelming.
Let's talk about that feeling. That pain is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology, and it's the second reason people sell at the worst possible time. We are designed to avoid pain.
It certainly feels like something I need to avoid. Selling seems like the only way to make the pain stop.
Think about it this way. Psychologists have found that for most people, the pain of losing $100 is about twice as strong as the pleasure of gaining $100. We are wired to protect what we have.
That makes sense. It hurts more to lose than it feels good to win.
Exactly. And your brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat, like a predator, and a financial threat, like a falling number on a screen. It just feels danger and screams, "Get out, protect yourself." This powerful instinct is called loss aversion.
Loss aversion. So my brain is hardwired to panic and sell?
It's hardwired to make the immediate pain go away, and selling does that. For a moment, you feel relief. You're safe. But what have you actually done? You've taken a temporary, on-paper loss and made it a permanent, real-world loss. You've sold the coffee shop to your pessimistic neighbor at a discount.
You've locked in the loss. Okay, so the feeling of panic is a biological signal, but it's giving me the wrong instructions for this environment.
Precisely. The signal is useful. It tells you to pay attention. But the instruction it gives, sell now, is often destructive. Acknowledging the feeling without obeying it is the critical skill. You say to yourself, there is the feeling of loss aversion. It's here because I'm human. It is not a command.
That's a huge shift, to see the panic as just a signal, not a truth. But it's hard when everything feels so uncertain. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow or next week. The experts on TV don't know. That uncertainty is what makes it so scary.
You're right. And trying to reduce that short-term uncertainty is the third great mistake. Most people believe their job is to predict what the market will do next.
Isn't it? If I knew it was going to go down more, I would sell. If I knew it was going to go up, I would buy more. The problem is not knowing.
That's the wrong game to play. Imagine you're a farmer. Your job is not to predict the weather for next Tuesday. Your job is to plant good seeds in good soil and have a system for the changing seasons. You know there will be storms. You know there will be droughts. You don't sell your whole farm because the forecast for next week looks bad.
Because you trust the seasons, the cycle.
You trust the long-term process. The stock market is the same. In the short term, it's just weather. It's chaotic and unpredictable. It is, by its very nature, volatile.
Okay, volatile. I feel that. So if the market is just short-term weather, what is the long-term season I should be focusing on?
The slow, steady growth of the economy, the innovation of companies, the simple fact that over long periods, good businesses tend to become more valuable. Your advantage as an investor is not in predicting the rain, it's in your patience. You can simply wait for the sun to come out again, while the panicked sellers are running for shelter. Time is your real asset, not a perfect prediction.
So let me see if I have this right. 1, I don't own a price, I own a piece of a durable business. 2, the panic I feel is just loss aversion, a signal to ignore. And 3, my job is to focus on the long term, not the volatile day-to-day changes.
That's a very clear summary.
But it feels too simple. If this is all true, why do so many people, even smart people, lose money? Why does panic work so often? What if this isn't just a storm? What if it's the start of a hurricane that destroys the whole farm?
That's the great question, and the fear is valid. The reason it's so hard is that these forces work together to create a perfect storm in your mind. The volatile market triggers your aversion to loss. Your aversion makes you forget you own a durable business. You start thinking only about the falling price.
And that panic leads to a bad decision.
It leads to a decision that can compound the problem. The initial drop might be 10%. That's the market's fault. But selling locks in that loss. Then because you're scared, you wait in cash. The market recovers, but you're too afraid to get back in. You miss the gains. So a simple 10% drop becomes a 20 or 30% missed opportunity. Your panic didn't solve the problem, it made it much, much worse.
You compound the error. The real damage isn't the drop, it's the decisions I make because of the drop.
Exactly. This is why the most important skill in investing isn't financial analysis, it's emotional resilience.
Resilience. The ability to feel the fear but not act on it, to take the punch from the market and not get knocked out of the game.
It's the ability to stick to your plan even when it's emotionally painful. Building that resilience comes from having these mental models ready before the storm hits. When the panic starts, you don't have to think, you just have to remember. Remember the coffee shop, remember the farmer, remember that your brain is trying to trick you.
So let's go over this again. I need to be sure my original investment was in something durable, a company that can survive tough times.
Yes, a strong foundation is key. You can't have resilience for a bad investment.
And when the market becomes volatile, which it will, I need to recognize the feeling of loss aversion in myself.
You need to name it. This is aversion. Giving it a name separates it from you. It's not me, it's a psychological effect happening to me.
That simple act of naming it feels like it would give me some distance, some control.
It does. And that distance prevents you from making a rash decision that will compound your problems. You give yourself space to breathe and remember your long-term plan.
I can see how these ideas connect now. It's a system. Your resilience protects you from the market's volatile nature, and that resilience is built on understanding your own aversion to loss and on trusting the durable nature of what you own.
You've just described the mindset that separates successful long-term investors from everyone else. It's not about being smarter. It's about being more disciplined emotionally.
It's not about beating the market. It's about not letting the market beat you.
A perfect way to put it.
I think the real fear wasn't about losing the money itself. Of course, that's part of it. But the deeper fear was about being wrong, about looking foolish. Selling feels like admitting I was wrong and ending the experiment.
And what does staying invested feel like?
It feels like having faith in my original decision. It feels like trusting the process, even when it's uncomfortable. It changes the goal from not losing money today to building wealth over a decade.
And which goal is more important to you?
The second one, obviously. It's not even a question when you say it like that.
So the numbers on the screen today, what are they?
They're just the weather. They're the mood of a very emotional neighbor. They're not the value of my farm.